Hello everyone, how are you? New update. Two-time Tony winner William Finn died April 7th following a long illness. News of his death was confirmed by representatives from Barrington Stage Company. He was 73. Born and raised in Massachusetts in conservative Judaism, Mr. Finn was inspired to write his first play in Hebrew school. He attended Williams College, first as a guitar major before transitioning to the wider music major, inadvertently following in the footsteps of one of his mentors from afar, Stephen Sondheim, who had also attended Williams College and received the same Hutchinson Fellowship. Mr. Finn became a heavily autobiographical musical theater writer, folding his experiences as a gay Jewish man with a brain stem malformation into some of his most lauded work. His first show, Sizzle, was produced at Williams College in 1971, making it the first original musical to be produced on the campus since Sondheim's era. The coming-of-age musical about college students played to packed houses, kickstarting Mr. Finn's self-confidence as he ventured into the artistic experience that would define his future fame. He next composed a trilogy of short musicals which would become his first professional calling card and intended for the off-Broadway market. Titled In Trousers, March of the Falsettos, and Falsettoland, all chronicle the story of a gay man named Marvin, his lover Whizzer, Marvin's ex-wife Trina, their son Jason, and their extended family from the early 80s through the early days of the AIDS crisis. The three musicals were an unexpected documentation of the encroaching danger of the AIDS crisis, with In Trousers having been written and developed in the late 1970s before the epidemic was known, March of the Falsettos written in 1981 before the scale of the epidemic was known, and Falsettoland written in 1990 when the devastation was on their doorstep. While In Trousers was initially panned, each successive revision and revisit to Marvin's world gained greater and greater acclaim. The last two installments, March of the Falsettos and Falsettoland, were directed by James Lapine and eventually combined into what is now known as Falsettos. Opening on Broadway at the John Golden Theatre April 29, 1992, Falsettos is considered one of the great theatrical works about the AIDS crisis, running for 486 performances and picking up 7 nominations at the Tony Awards. Mr. Finn won the Tony Award for Best Original Score, as well as the Tony Award for Best Book of a Musical, sharing the latter with Lapine. A critically acclaimed revival played Broadway in 2016, taking in 5 nominations at the Tony Awards, including Best Revival. A film performance has since been commercially released and broadcast on PBS. It is, however, of note that Falsettos was not Mr. Finn's Broadway debut, as is most often assumed. The short-lived musical, Dangerous Games, ran for only 4 performances at the Nederlander Theatre in 1989. The show was notably one of the only times where Mr. Finn collaborated with another artist on the score of a show, rather than producing both the music and lyrics himself. Dangerous Games featured music by Astor Piazzolla to accompany Mr. Finn's lyrics. Mr. Finn and Lapine would again collaborate in 1998, developing a work Mr. Finn had loosely based on his near-death experience following brain surgery. A New Brain's main character Gordo is a thinly veiled stand-in for Mr. Finn himself, as a man struggling with a potentially terminal arteriovenous malformation, AVM. Mr. Finn's longtime partner, Arthur Salvador, was represented in the form of Roger Deli Bovie, and Mr. Finn's mother is also present in the piece. The musical premiered off-Broadway at Lincoln Center Theatre, winning the 1999 Outer Critics Circle Award for Outstanding Off-Broadway Musical. The writer-director duo's third cult classic musical would come in the form of the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee, for which he wrote both music and lyrics, with a book by Rachel Schinken. The show was first workshopped at Barrington Stage Company, where Mr. Finn later created the Musical Theatre Lab, MTL, one of the most beloved developmental programs for emerging musical theater writers striving to create new works. The 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee won 2 Tony Awards in 2005, Best Book of a Musical and Best Featured Actor in a Musical for Dan Fogler. The show received 4 additional Tony nominations, including Best Musical, Best Direction for Lapine, Best Original Score for Mr. Finn, and Best Featured Actress in a Musical for Celia Keenan Bolger.